What is up, everybody? This is JP, your online personal trainer. First things first, I know I only did one video last week, and I normally try to do two videos each week is what I aim for. And it's not because I'm not giving you guys enough content or I'm not trying to put out as much content. It's because I started my own website with Squarespace. There I'm going to put up workouts, blogs, articles, anything that's basically fitness related, I'm going to put out over there. It took me a little bit to set that up, make it look the way I want to look, put, different types of pages on there. It was a really easy setup. I love the way Squarespace, has their, they make it easy for you to set up a website. I tried doing one with WordPress before and it was just too complicated and I really didn't like that. But yes, I am finished with the website. I might do some tweaks and stuff here and there. I still have to get a more specific domain, but right now I'm just going to use the domain that they gave me with. But it is done. So I do have one blog post on there, and it's why aesthetics don't determine how much you know in regards to fitness. So if you want to check that out, you can check that out on my website, which I'm going to start linking below this video and in every description of every video from here on out. And you're also going to be able to find that on my page. So if you go on my YouTube page, you'll be able to find my website link there, so you can go straight to that. Also, you can find it on any of my social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter. I'm going to put those on there. So yeah, so overall what's going to happen with this channel is I'm going to keep putting out videos, but they're probably going to drop down to maybe 1 week. It's going to be every other week. It's going to be staggered. So 1 week I'm probably going to do one video. Then the next week I'll do 2 videos. Then the week after that I'll do 1 video. And the week after that I'll do 2 videos. But that's going to be in combination with putting up more posts on my website. So on top of getting my videos still, just a little less frequent videos, you're also going to be getting blogs, workouts, stuff like that. So definitely check that out. You're going to find a lot of great content there. Now on to today's video, CrossFit, why I don't like it. I know that's a very general term. I know a lot of people hate on CrossFit, and I guess I don't want to say it's rightful hate. I mean, there are some people who hate CrossFit and it's just they're jumping on the bandwagon and they don't necessarily know why. Like, oh, I don't like CrossFit, it's a joke. And there are, I guess, some okay things about CrossFit. I mean, what they're trying to do. But for people who are doing CrossFit, or for people who don't understand why other people don't like CrossFit, I'm going to go over some of the reasons why I don't like CrossFit. And these are basically the more general known for people who don't like CrossFit. The things that I'm going to say probably aren't new. They may be new. Maybe you're someone who's confused, but I know some people who just like to jump on the bandwagon and hate on CrossFit. Or I know some people who do CrossFit and they're doing some type of program from CrossFit, but they don't get the hate. They don't understand why CrossFit's bad, maybe. So I'm going to try to break it down and give you guys a very specific reasons and not be biased and not just sit there and hate on CrossFit for no reason at all. I'll give you specific reasons why I particularly don't like it. One is some exercises aren't made for speed reps. This is probably the most widely known one. And what do I mean by that? CrossFit uses a lot of Olympic style lifts, snatches, cleans and jerks, hang cleans, things like that. These exercises are not made they're not made for repetitive, fast reps over and over and over with heavy weight. Like for example, with the typical Olympic lifter or someone doing Olympic lifts, let's just say we're taking someone who's not doing CrossFit. They do the movements, like I said, like a snatch or a clean and jerk, anything like that. They'll do these movements very particular, very precise, and they're going to give themselves proper rest period between reps and sets. They're going to give they're going to do proper good setups for every single rep, because again, it's a very technical movement. If your goal is to move a lot of weight in these Olympic lifts, and again, it's a very technical movement, but your goal is to eventually be able to lift a lot of weight, you cannot do the reps extremely fast, one rep, and then not have proper setup on top of that. Because again, if you look at a lot of things in CrossFit with these workout of the days and things like that, they have you doing this many reps and you want to do it as fast as possible, which leads you to have improper setups, not good setups, which again, doing Olympic style lifts when you're tired from doing something else is not a good idea at all. Again, that's a lot of their workouts they consist of, is you'll be doing a bunch of things as fast as you can. And of course, some arguments against this point are, well, no one's telling them to have bad form. Don't do it if you're not going to have good form. But that's the point. Sometimes it's hard to have good form when you're tired because you just ran a mile as fast as you could, or you just did 30 pull-ups, or you just did whatever else it was you did. You can't, you need proper rest periods in between these exercises. Olympic lifts are not made for cardio. They're not, because again, they're very technical. You could use this example for anything. Imagine if you had, like I said, a cook. I know cooks have to cook fast, like for a restaurant, because they have to get it out to the customer. What if you had them doing it so fast that the food came out like shit? You wouldn't want to eat there. You would tell the cook, look, I want you to do it fast, but only as fast as necessary to make it a good meal. Like with the Olympic exercises, it's the same thing. You want to do the lifts themselves fast, but you don't want to immediately stop it and go to the next rep and just hurry up and do the next rep and then hurry up and try to get all of the reps done as quick as possible. Again, it's a very technical movement. It's not easy. It's not something that you could just learn and do in a few days or do in a few reps and, expect it to, you're going to see gains. Yeah, but you might see some gains, but you're going to see a lot of injuries at that same time. And then if you get a big injury, it's going to prevent you from seeing gains for a long, long, long time. So if you want to keep seeing results, that's not good. All right, reason number 2 is just general exercise technique. And someone may say, well, that's if someone's teaching exercise technique improperly, like a CrossFit trainer, that's the trainer's fault, not CrossFit in general. Well, no, some of the exercise techniques are given by CrossFit themselves. They are the ones who say, CrossFit in general is who says do exercises like this. I've seen them do and the main thing with this is kipping stuff, kipping pull-ups. I've seen them do kipping dips. I'm pretty sure they might even have a kipping push-up, which I haven't seen, but I've seen a kipping dip and I've seen a kipping pull-up. And then on top of that, those two are very specific. They want you to do them like that. And then on top of that, you just see bad technique in general from maybe trainers who don't know what they're talking about. And again, I think that falls on CrossFit in general, which kind of is going to go to my last point, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. It's just a lot of the trainers don't really know what they're doing, and then they're teaching it wrong. So when you have to think of it, and I was in the Marine Corps, I'm medically retired right now, but when I was in the Marine Corps, they always taught us that whatever you do is going to fall on the person above you. It's going to make them look bad, which is right. It's going to make the leader look bad. So if CrossFit's the one hiring all these people who don't know what they're doing, why is CrossFit doing that? They're making CrossFit look bad is what it is. When you have all these trainers who don't know how to properly teach exercise technique. And then on top of that, CrossFit themselves advocating doing pull-ups kipping style, doing pull-up or dips kipping style, which again, some people say they do that because they want to get as many as they can. But what's the point of training if you're not training to tax that muscle group? If you're just aiming for as many pull-ups as you can do when you are using as much momentum as you can, it defeats the purpose. You're not really getting, I do pull-ups, obviously, like I said, I was in the Marine Corps. When you do them kipping style and you do kipping pull-ups, it's a lot less hard than doing completely strict pull-ups. Now, you can apply negatives and things like that to another day that you want to do pull-ups, but that's completely different. So just general exercise technique is just why. If you want to train a muscle group, you need to apply tension to that muscle. You have to. If you're not applying tension to that muscle, it's not being trained. If you're doing a bicep curl and you're just regularly curling, if you're squatting down and using momentum to get the weight up, and then you're not controlling the negative either, if the negative has no tension on it because you're just letting it drop, and then the concentric, the positive portion, has no tension on it because you're using your legs, when is the bicep being worked? It's the same thing with a pull-up. If you're assisting on the positive portion with, again, a kip with your legs, momentum, and then you're going real fast on the bottom, and then you're using some of the momentum from the negative of the previous rep to help you on the positive of the next rep, when are you ever working that muscle group? That's my point. If you're working out, you are trying to break down muscle tissue of a specific muscle group, or you're trying to get some central nervous system adaptation, like with strength training. But again, just general exercise technique, I don't agree with. It's not smart. I don't feel like it's the right way to do. I'm not saying they do everything wrong, but it's just from what I've seen and what they're actually advocating, I don't agree with it at all. And then number 3 is, it's controversial with other certifications too. personal trainer certifications in general, I feel like they need to be bumped up. The skill ceiling is too low. Now, if I think the skill ceiling is too low from certifications that give you a year to complete, or if you space them out properly, you could probably finish them in a few months. Like mine took about 6 to 7 months because I read my entire book twice. If I would have just read the book once, I probably could have passed the test for my certification through the NCSF. But even then, I don't think 3 months of regular studying is something that is a normal amount of time for a good regular certification. Even though I still feel like a good regular certification isn't really enough, it's okay. It's okay. It's not that bad. It still could be more. But they have and remember, I tried looking for some type of loophole when I looked for this. I even went to the CrossFit website themselves. I read forums, read posts. I'm like, there has to be some type of other prerequisite. But I couldn't find any. If there is, let me know down below. But they honestly have a 2-day trainer course. It's a level 1 course, and it costs $1,000, which is a lot for just a level 1 course. That's only 2 days. But it's a 2-day trainer course that when you completed that, you are now technically allowed to, I think even legally in most states, you're allowed to train somebody. And I think that is absolutely bullshit and ridiculous. 2 days? I don't even agree with a few months studying for a regular certification. Why would I agree with a 2-day trainer course? I know people, not even for me, I know people that I can't teach how to squat properly in, oh, maybe 2 days how to do a basic body weight squat. But I mean, if you're a trainer and you've trained someone, some people get things really quick and they can nail a deadlift perfectly the first few reps. Some people it takes a few workouts to really get down a deadlift. How is someone going to, a CrossFit trainer, how is a CrossFit teacher going to teach someone to train someone else in 2 days when they probably can't even teach someone to do a deadlift properly? Now, on top of this, I even went over the booklet that they have on CrossFit. They're teaching you exercise technique for things that you just can't teach in 2 days. Like, a trainer can't even teach someone how to do an Olympic lift in 2 days. How are you going to teach someone else to do all of this stuff in 2 days? And if someone says as an argument, well, they're not trying to teach you as that. You need to do other things too. But it doesn't matter. The fact that you can do the bare minimum, get this, and yes, that it does make the person look bad if they do the bare minimum. But if an institution is giving you their stamp of approval, like with this CrossFit level 1 trainer course, and they're giving you their stamp of approval saying, oh, well, okay, you're good to go, you've passed our test, you can go open your own CrossFit box. But they don't know that they can optimally open a box and teach someone any of the stuff that they're teaching. It's bullshit. You're going to hurt somebody. On top of hurting someone, it blows their head up because they get this level 1 trainer course and they don't know shit. Even after I got my certification, I felt like I knew nothing. And it's that perfect saying is the more you know, the more you don't know. I don't know nothing, you know? And again, and the fact that it's $1,000 for a 2-day course, don't you think that's kind of ridiculous? Like, I mean, mine didn't even cost that much. My certification didn't even cost that much. And like, mine was like a 500-600 page textbook that I had to study, and it covered a lot of science. It covered a lot of, like I said, muscle physiology, biomechanics, went over anatomy, had like 3 chapters on nutrition. It was a pretty big book. Think of a school textbook just all about working out, nutrition, and stuff. So, yeah, and I mean, it was pretty legit. Man, again, I'm not even trying to be biased. I feel like all certifications, including mine, the skill ceiling is too low. I feel like you should have a few months of hands-on, one-on-one training, a lot of textbooks knowledge before you can even get to train somebody. Because I've learned so much in this last few years, it's ridiculous. But 2 days, hands down, I don't care what you do, it's not enough. They should not be giving people stamps of approval to be a trainer at all, an instructor, in any sort of way for 2 days. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't care if it's, well, you have to do more. Well, if you have to do more, then why are they getting a stamp of approval from CrossFit after a 2-day course? It should not be a 2-day course. It should be 2 months for a level 1 trainer. 2 months. And I don't even agree with that. That's kind of so low, you know, to be able to teach someone these movements that are crazy. But if I had to pick somewhere, 2 months would be the absolute bare minimum of you being taught by someone else, and 2 months of straight hands-on teaching. Hands-on teaching, day in, day out, 5 days a week for 2 months straight would be something more reasonable. But 2 days, that's ridiculous. But if you like this video, if you disagree, agree, whatever it is, put your comments down below. Again, if you disagree, let me know. I'm open to hearing other opinions. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. If you know someone who does CrossFit, who's maybe a little bit stubborn, or maybe who's someone who agrees with me, share this video with them. You could send it to their Facebook, anything like that. Check out all my social media platforms down below. And please do not forget to check out my website. I'm going to keep updating it. There's really not much content on there right now. I only have one blog up, but I'm going to keep putting content on there weekly. All right, then see you guys later. Peace.